Okay, we do be back with more of this. And the last one, we went on a fun little date with Aspen. It was, oh shoot, I bumped my mic immediately. I'm so bad at this. I was moving my mic so I could put on my lap so it's easier on my arms so I don't have to like my arms raised up, sprawled all over the place and eventually go numb. It's not a fun time. But yeah, now in this one, we're just starting off with a little bit of like side activities. There is no one around. So I guess we'll go to Mount Victoria. Looks like some tourists left out breadcrumbs for the seagulls because they're totally dominating the lookout today. I lightly shoo them away, trying to make my way to the bench so I can rest my feet, but the further I get into their whirlpool of wings, the more I realize they must have found something even better than bread if there are this many of them. Curiosity gets the better of me. What's got them so excited? Uh, what the? How did they manage to snag an entire meter-long super sub sandwich? Not even I've ever managed to steal one of those. Not even I've ever managed to steal one of those. I'm so jealous. All right. I do really, let's go to the Bell House. I did the thing where I didn't know what I wanted to order, so I absentmindedly ordered something I didn't actually want. Now I'm standing here with a black coffee that's way more than I bargained for. I mean, it's good quality coffee, it's just... Oh wait, duh, I can get myself sugar and creamer from the little counter with the napkins and stirrers. I just get sweet drinks so often I forget those are there. Let's see. How much sugar and cream is the right amount? One each? Blah, it's so bitter. Let's try one more. Nope, not enough. Let's put 5 more. While I'm here, I might as well keep some sugars and creams in my pocket since they're free. I think I can catch an employee staring at me. She's probably thinking about what a good idea this is. My coffee is so yummy now. I'm a genius. Nice, nice. You know what? Let's go to the Bell House again. Oh. Oh, right. We actually get to see Aspen's home. Oh my gosh. Why do I get so laggy whenever I'm recording this? I don't know why that is. It's only this. It doesn't happen while I'm streaming. It doesn't happen while I'm recording Radical Red. It doesn't happen while I'm doing anything else. Why only this? Later in the evening, Aspen sends a message to Juliet to let her know that she's ready for us to come over, and the two of us walk down to the address she gave us. Juliet leads the way, of course, since I don't know many of the streets by name. We eventually arrive at an unremarkable looking apartment building, just a few stories tall and without many decorations out front.
This is the place. I believe she's on the ground floor.
Not too far away, one of the doors swings open and Aspen pokes her head out to wave us over.
Miho, Juliet, over here. Aspen!
She holds the door open with one hand while pushing something away with her feet.
No!
Wait, is her cat's right? Oh! I freeze halfway to where she is.
What's wrong? I said, no, not you, Miho. I'm talking to the cats.
Aspen gestures for us to come inside while keeping an eye on the floor. Juliet and I hurry in, and Aspen shuts the door behind us.
Well, ta-da! Or something.
Me if I ever actually invited anyone over. Listen. Aspen, just like me for real, never invite anyone over. If I'm hanging out with people, it's either at like a different place, like entirely from like one of our houses, or it's at their house. I've had people over in like the 2-3 years I've been living here. I've had people over like 4 times, I think. And I hang out with people like 3 to 4 times a week. So, I mean, I have people over 3 to 4 times total, whereas I hang out with people like 3 to 4 times a week. It's like, no one ever comes over to my house, and that's okay. That's how I like it.
Whoa!
The entire place is just one room, except for a small bathroom right across from the door is a tiny kitchen area with a fridge, stove, and microwave. Everything else is basically a bedroom. There's a dresser, a small desk with computer, and Aspen's bed itself. Some luggage and boxes are scattered around, which I'm guessing were part of Aspen's cleanup.
That was the good kind of whoa.
It was. I like it. It's small, but it's very homey, you know? It has a good vibe to it.
It's lovely, Aspen. I adore
Same.
the fairy lights and plants. They make it feel very welcoming. Thank you for having us.
Honestly, I'm so terrible at taking care of plants. If anyone ever trusts me to take care of their plants, it will be dead by the end of the week. But if I was better at it, I would so have more plants around the house because they add such a nice aesthetic to the place. You know what I mean? Also, I do want to like start like these. She has got like lights up here. I would love to start like hanging those around my house just because like my lights that I have are so freaking bright. And yeah, I guess I could get like different bulbs for that. But I'm like, I could also just hang up dimmer lights. You know, have some mood lighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Thanks. It was a good wow, don't worry.
I really didn't have any expectations, but I'm still kind of surprised by how small it is. I figured she'd been exaggerating that part at least a little bit. The decorations make it feel fitting for Aspen, though. Two pairs of green eyes peek at us from around the corner, and both cats go dashing under the bed as we step further in.
Sorry there's not more space to sit down. You can see why I don't have company over very often. You can sit on the bed if you'd like. Or the computer chair.
Mine's mostly just because I don't like having people in my house. It's a very weird thing. I just like, what if they find something? I don't know what I have that they'd find that'd make them go, oh no, this guy's a freak. But I'm like, what if there is? It's like a very irrational feeling. I just hate it, and I don't know why.
Oh, it's fine. I'm okay on the floor.
I take a seat with my back against the dresser while Juliet sits down on the bed as invited. Aspen ends up taking the sole chair for herself. Almost as soon as I sit down, I spring back up, remembering the occasion.
Oh, yeah! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! Ooh.
Yes. Happy birthday, Aspen. Here's to another wonderful year.
Thank you. This year has been pretty good, I must say.
Narrowing my eyes, I inspect Aspen, who notices me and frowns at me. What's going on? Listen, like, reading this would, like, not be as funny, but these, like, all of the characters' deliveries are so good, it just, like, elevates the line so much.
You don't look any older. I'm glad to hear that. It doesn't just happen overnight on your birthday, though. Not that you would be aware of that, I suppose. Anyway, enough about that. Are you too hungry? We've already done everything there is to do here, I believe. Now you understand why I never have people over. It's fine. I don't mind just sitting around. But, yeah, I'm always ready to eat.
Just like me, for real, which has become one of my favorite sayings.
Have you decided where you want to go?
I think so. There's a seafood restaurant that isn't too far away that I enjoy, but don't go to very often. Does that work for both of you?
Okay. I used to be like a huge seafood denier, and then over the past year where I was like getting healthier and like dieting and all that kind of jazz, like taking care of myself way better, not only did I super get into seafood because it's incredible for you, especially stuff like salmon. Oh my gosh, which salmon used to be like the most mid thing ever, and then I learned how to actually prepare it. I've been doing such a good job at preparing it. I've been killing it. And then I started trying like sushi and stuff, and it's like, oh, I want to go back and try a sushi. I want to go back and get more sushi, but it's like expensive-ish, relatively, compared to other things that I could get a whole meal for a sushi roll, essentially. And it's like, is it worth it? I don't know.
I'm okay with anything. I just like food.
Based.
Indeed. It's your birthday, so we'll have whatever you want.
All right. Let's get going then.
The restaurant is a bit of a walk from Aspen's apartment, but it's a nice day, so I don't mind. We end up at a pier not too far from the museum I visited. It's not a very big place, but it's bigger than the Bell House. Half of it juts out over the ocean itself. Doh, that's rad! We get seated right away at a long table with metal stools.
Sure smells fishy. It's supposed to. That means it's fresh.
Our waiter brings 3 menus, setting one in front of each of us, and promises to come take our order soon. Aspen and Juliet both pick up their menus and start to flip through it, so I do the same. And then Miho's gonna be like, okay guys, I know I can kinda read now. This is still too much for me. I need something else.
Let me know if you need help reading anything, Miho.
Thanks.
Fortunately, there are plenty of pictures. The Bell House could learn a thing or two from here. I'm even able to read some of the words like fish and corn, but there are others that I don't recognize at all.
What do you usually get here, Aspen? Well, they're most well known for their crab, although it's very messy. And expensive, so I've never had it.
Fair enough.
I usually get the clam chowder or fish and chips if I want to hate myself later.
It's your birthday. You're supposed to get the stuff that makes you hate yourself. That's why you do it, all right? It's okay to eat, in all my time, it's okay to eat garbage as long as you do it, like, sparingly, you know? Like, when I was getting ready for my birthday at the beginning of November, I was all like, all right, the entire first half of October and all of this, like, most of the second half outside of Halloween, obviously, nothing but healthy foods. That way I can completely splurge on my birthday, and it doesn't even make me feel bad. And I loved it.
Oh. What's chowder?
A really weird TV show from Cartoon Network.
It's like a thick soup.
Is it really? I've never had chowder before.
Oh. Isn't it hard to eat clams? I've tried before, but I couldn't get past the shells. They do that for you. No shells involved. Whoa! That's nice of them. I'm sure they'd be glad to hear that. Is there something you usually order when you go out to eat?
I don't think Miho goes out to eat. If you couldn't tell, she usually like steals most of her stuff.
I've never been to a restaurant before. Unless you count the Bell House. Well, not as a paying customer.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
But I know how they work because I've seen them on TV. I hope you enjoy your first time then. I will.
Both of you, feel free to order whatever you'd like. Don't worry about the price.
Oh my gosh, Sugar Mama Juliet, let's go. I mean, she's already been there for the whole game so far, but let's go. A nearby door swings open, and for a second I can see into the kitchen as another waiter comes out, carrying a big bucket. A number of spiny claws and legs poke out of it.
Is that...
They take the bucket to another table and set it down, along with a big pile of napkins.
Yes.
I watch intently, curious to see how these people are going to get past the shells.
Shouldn't stare, you know.
Shh, give me a sec. I ignore her. I ignore her. I have to know. They grab some utensils that I've never seen before and use those to crack the shells. I watch fascinated while they do. Turning back to Aspen and Juliet, I've made up my mind. Miho's adorable. I love her so much. Clams were too hard, but I used to love eating crab. It's been a long time since I've had it, though.
It would be nice to try at least once.
Sounds like it's settled then.
Our waiter shows back up, a few glasses of water in hand, and Juliet orders for all of us. The waiter takes the menus back, saying our food should be out before too long. I sip my water and look around, enjoying the new experience.
Have you ever been here before, Juliet?
I haven't. As I'm sure you know, I don't go out to eat very often. I've been to similar restaurants before, though.
You went to the Bell House back when it first opened, didn't you? I seem to recall you telling me that once.
I did, yes. I can still remember what I had. A chai latte with a blueberry scone.
Oh, that sounds incredible. Okay, not to keep talking about my food habits, but I recently started like having like by recently I mean like months ago, I've started having like protein waffles and pancakes and stuff like that with blueberries in them, and I'm like, I used to be such a big blueberry hater, and honestly, they kind of slap now. As long as they're like in something, like I can't just like pop a blueberry in my mouth. That's still like, but like with stuff, it's so good.
Were you working there yet? Oh no, it was a few years before I came to Welly. Although, Regina, my boss, wants to expand. There's going to be a second location opening in a couple months. She asked me if I would consider being store manager.
Don't you dare leave us. Don't leave us. Also, is the audio being weird for anyone else? Like, I don't know, I haven't actually listened to the last couple episodes. This is like a week after. But like, Juliet's audio for me at least is a little choppy. Aspen's like slightly weird, and like right there, like the jur on manager just like peaked super high for me. Like the rest of it was like at a normal level, and then suddenly like jur was like manager, and it was like, oh gosh, stop, don't do that in my ears. Miho sounds completely normal to me, so that's why I'm like, I don't know if it's actually the game or not, but like it sounds normal through my speakers, so I'm like, I don't know if like somehow being connected to my headphones is messing it up. I don't know.
Oh, congratulations! That's quite the honor.
But that means she'd have to leave.
Place? I would still be working for her, but otherwise, yes. I haven't decided if I want to do it or not, though. It would be a lot more work and responsibility, obviously. It would take up much more of my time, too.
Yeah, well, that's the issue. Like, yeah, it would be more money, but then you'd have less time to work on your writing, which is always the balance, you know? Like, oh, you got this new thing at work, oh cool, that's gonna be rad, but now you have less time to do the things that you actually want to do. But the money's really nice.
I'm not sure if I want to put myself through that.
That's understandable. I do think you'd be well suited for it, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think she'd do incredible at it. I just don't think it's like the best thing for her, essentially. Especially since, again, she'd have to leave.
Yeah,
It sounds
already
like.
do a lot at the other Bell House. Thanks. Yes, it is tempting. I told her I'll think about it and give her an answer by the end of next month. The building it'll be in is already a coffee shop, so it won't take too long to convert. It all depends on some other things, really.
Like what?
Oh?
Well, for one, I'd been thinking about keeping this a secret until I hear back, but I finally finished a draft of my manuscript.
Oh, let's go, let's go. Okay, so I was doing NaNoWriMo during November, and I was also trying to finish my first draft, but there's literally no way I was going to be able to do it. I would have had to written like 150-ish thousand words, because it's going to be about that long. It's going to be about like 400-ish pages, and at 20,000 I had written 50 pages of it. I had already started 50 pages before NaNoWriMo, and over the first like 2 weeks ish of NaNoWriMo, which, for everyone who doesn't know, NaNoWriMo is a big thing where you write 50,000 words all through November, and I was at 20,000 words 2 weeks in. There was a few days I like slipped up and couldn't do as much, but I was catching back up, so I think I was actually around like 25,000, 26,000. I don't actually remember. But then so I was 100 pages in, and I was killing. I was doing so good, and I had set stuff aside like the next day. So then, like on the 15th, 16th, so I could write like a ton and get ahead of schedule, because I love writing. It's so much fun. But then my wrist gave out. My job requires me to do so much clicking with a mouse and typing on the keyboard. And then most of my hobbies are like video games or drawing or writing. And I also write scripts for videos that I'm working on. And it's just like, and then with my friends, I play like D&D, or we play video games. With my family, I play video games and stuff like that. Like, that's not all I do. Like, obviously, I also like exercise, and I love to go on walks, and I love to like do other things with my friends. Like, we like go out and do other stuff. But like, you know, when it's like that concentrated, like there's always a chance of it happening. It just wore out my wrist so fast. Like, my wrists were kind of already not doing too great. Like, I needed a wrist brace before NaNoWriMo started for it all. But then my wrist felt like I could not use it anymore without like causing like severe pain and damage to myself. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to take the rest of this off. And I haven't actually gotten back into writing since the middle of November, which is so sad. But I am trying to like take it slightly easier with that stuff specifically, just so that I can have like heal. And then with the new year, I'm probably gonna try and get back to doing it. My goal is to do at least like 10,000 words a month. Starting January, so that's my goal. I'm just trying to let my wrist heal, because I'm now wearing a wrist brace like throughout the day, even if I'm not working, and while I sleep. Not too tight though to like cause any kind of damage. I also got an ergonomic mouse and keyboard, which has been helping so much, and I can like already feel it like getting better. You know what I mean? That was a long-winded way of saying like, I'm so proud of Aspen. S tier job, girl. I'm so proud of you. I'm also on my way to getting there.
I sent it off to a few publishers to see what they think.
Oh, listen, I hope that this works out. That'd be so
Congratulations,
exciting.
Aspen. That's a stunning achievement.
Yeah! What are you gonna do with all your free time now? Thank you. That's a good question. I'm sure I'll spend plenty worrying. Other than that, I will need to find some new ways to fill my day.
Well, you start on a second book. I mean, I guess you wait while you're waiting for the stuff to get back to you. You don't do that, but you know,
Well,
whatever.
I won't have time to help out at the new store. I'm getting rather ahead of myself, though. It's only been a little over a week since I submitted it.
How long does it take? Probably a while though, because publishers are getting like that kind of stuff all the time, and it takes a while to actually like read and digest a book. You know what I mean? Unless you're rushing through it, which is a terrible way to actually like, I feel like, to read.
I hope it works out for you.
Aw, Miho's being so nice. She doesn't really get it, but she's still being so nice. We sit and talk about the usual stuff for maybe 15 or 20 minutes before our waiter comes out of the kitchen, carrying a giant bucket like the one we saw earlier. Aspen and I both gasp in awe as they place it on the table before us, with a flourish, giving us a stack of napkins and tools like the
Well,
other group.
let's not just stare. Dig in. Oh, I don't even know where to start.
I grab one of the pieces. Has she ever done this face before? It's so cute. I grab one of the pieces closest to me. It's hot, so hot I drop it on my plate. Aspen does the same thing with a yelp of pain. Juliet, on the other hand, seems totally unbothered as she calmly claims a portion for herself. Leaning in close, I blow on my food to try and cool it down. While I do, I watch Juliet to observe how she does it. She smiles when she notices me watching and turns her hands to give me a better view as she uses a tool to crack the shell and get to the meat. Aspen seems to know what she's doing too. Once it's cool enough for her to handle. Now I just need to give it a try. I try to mimic what I saw Juliet do, and after a moment of squeezing really hard, it finally works.
Easier than trying to use my own claws. I should hope so.
I pile it onto my fork and take a big bite, finally getting to enjoy my prize. I feel my eyes go wide with how good it is. I quickly finish the piece I was eating and then rush to grab another. It's a lot easier to crack now that I know what I'm doing. For a while, the only sounds coming from our table are those of us enjoying our food and the occasional sip of water. When our waiter comes by to give us refills, they look a little shocked at how much we've already gone through. When the bucket is finally empty and I sadly toss a shell of my last piece into the waste bag, Juliet seems to pick up on it.
Hungry? No. Do I want to eat more? Yes. That was delicious.
Juliet glances at Aspen, who shrugs. The next time the waiter passes by, Juliet flags them down with a smile. It feels like it may as well be my birthday instead of Aspen's. By the time we get through the second bucket, even I can't eat anymore, and we leave the restaurant in a bit of a daze.
I've never been this full in my life. Me too. I think I'm set on crab for a long time now. Thanks for dinner though, Juliet. It was wonderful.
Oh my gosh, that's how it was after I actually fully tried shrimp at a good shrimp place. It was like, okay, I'm content now. I don't need to eat for another 3 days.
It was my pleasure. I hope you've had a nice birthday.
I certainly have. Now, if I can make it back home, I'll call it a success. I feel like I've put on several kilos just from that meal.
Would you like me to call you a taxi?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, also this thing scared the crap out of me. I just saw it. It looked like it was like a weird skeleton man, like an odd you see it. This is the head, rib cage, everything. You know, arms, everything. You guys get it.
No, it's fine. Walking some of this off will be good for me. I still have to pack and get ready for tomorrow.
That's actually a good thing to do after you eat. It's good to walk for about like 10-ish minutes, like right after, to help your body start digesting it all.
Miho and I will head home as well then. Does that sound okay, Miho?
We could also go back to Aspen's and help her pack, you know, keep her company.
Let's just walk slow.
Still, I manage a weak wave.
Happy birthday again. Thank you again. Good night to you both. I'll see you two tomorrow.
Aww. Aspen trudges off, but Juliet somehow seems unfazed. Taking a deep breath, I still myself for the long walk home. So is something going on with Juliet? Because like she's like not fazed by the heat. She was not fazed by any of the food. Is it because she's a vampire, or is she just like better at composing herself? Because I can't tell if they're purposely drawing a lot of attention to how unfazed she is being by stuff, or if it's just like little like, oh, she's unfazed by this, she's unfazed by this. Look, it's Juliet, you know, kind of thing. What's going on? Game, what happened? Oh, the game, please. Oh no. Okay, there we go. The afternoon of Aspen's departure, she's unusually quiet. Although she shows up to breakfast like normal, she barely says a word throughout the whole meal other than things like yes please and no thanks. From the way she keeps checking her phone and messaging with her face and clothes, I can tell something must be on her mind. Wait. Okay. Just to make a quick prediction. She's gonna be like, hey, my parents really want me to stay for longer. I can't do that because of Miho. Hey, Miho, wanna come with? And then we'll be like, yes. I figured she's just antsy about her trip, so I don't bring it up or try to talk to her. Instead, Juliet... I guess Juliet would also have to come with us then. I just realized that, like, I can't just leave Juliet behind. That'd be awful. She has to come with us. I figure she's just antsy talking about her trip, so I don't bring it up or try to talk to her. Instead, Juliet and I mostly chat until we're done eating and the dishes are cleaned up. The moment we're finished,
Leo,
Aspen perks up a little
Are you ready
bit.
to go to the bus station?
Yeah. This way, you have as much time as possible to get back.
Precisely. Thank
Yee.
you.
Of course.
Okay, if that actually is what's going on, and Aspen isn't saying anything to Juliet, that's super weird, because Juliet would also need to come with us, so I kind of hope that that's not what's happening, actually. Hang on. Because I'm saying, like, I don't want Juliet to be left out and then forget about us, essentially. Before departing, Juliet approaches Aspen and gives her a hug. From the outside, I realize that hugs look kinda weird. People have come up with the strangest ways to show they
Safe
care about each
travels,
other.
Aspen. Let us know when you get there.
Will do. I won't have reception while traveling, but I'll send a message as soon as I'm home.
How long's your trip?
If it was by car, only a couple hours. It'll be closer to 4 by bus, though. I'll take an early one on the way back tomorrow, just to be safe.
Ample reading time, it sounds like.
Oh, yes.
She drums her fingers on a book
Patricia
tucked
and
into her
I have
bag.
a lot of catching up to do.
Only one book, though? It has to be a beefy book if you're gonna have 8 hours to read on the bus. That's kind of crazy. Although she's still fidgety, it seems like Aspen's remembered how to speak. After spending an unusually long amount of time adjusting her skirt and hair, she finally faces me
Shall we be
brightly.
off, Miho?
Yep.
Goodbye, Aspen. Good night, Miho.
Bye.
Later.
Aspen holds the front door open for me as we exit the
Where's
library.
this bus station?
Not too far from my apartment. We'll pass it by on the way there.
Should we stop by and say hi to the cats? I'm sure they'd love to see me.
They're going to be angry enough
Oh,
at
that's
me for leaving
cute.
for a day. I'm not sure I want to traumatize them right before I go.
Dang it. I've never gotten along with cats.
That's because cats are the most judgmental creatures on the
Have
on
you
the
known
planet,
many?
okay? I love them, though.
Only
They're
a
so cute.
few. Some of the strays have some really good stories to tell.
The two of us walk along in silence for a little bit before Aspen pokes me on the shoulder. I've gotten more used to physical contact like that, but it still
What's it
surprises me
like
every
talking
time.
to an animal, anyway? How do you do it?
I'm not sure. It was just something that I knew how to do, like making a den. A lot of the time, you can just feel what they mean without saying it. I don't know how to put it.
No, that makes sense. There are some things that you just can't put into words, as much as you'd like to.
Exactly.
Yeah!
I have the problem a lot. I'll bet you don't, though.
And then she's gonna be, Aspen's gonna be like, oh, I'm having that
You
thing
use
right
that bit
now.
quite handily. Why? I'd say
Oh,
I
what?
struggle to put
Audio.
things into words
Audio?
more
What?
than-
Audio? What? Audio, please. Please, what happened? No. Oh, my stuff disconnected. Why do my headphones disconnect? Hang on. Bump. They shouldn't be dead. They give you a warning when they're dead. Ah, I don't know if you guys lost audio for that, so, hang on. I doubt you guys did, but anyways, I didn't read it. You'd lose that bet quite handily. Why, I'd say I struggle to put things in words more than anything.
How? I thought you loved writing.
Yeah, you'd think that writers would be better at talking, but they are super not. At least based on me and most of the writers I watch speak.
I do, usually, but it's not that simple. Sometimes you just can't use any old words. You have to use the right ones. And often that means going through
Mhm.
lots and lots of the wrong ones until you find them.
I think it's easier the way animals do it.
It certainly sounds like it. I often wonder if I could talk to Percy and Byron, what they would have to say.
Probably just a lot of feed me, pet me, feed me. I need to take a poop. I took a poop
Maybe
all
they
over the
just
carpet.
complain about me not feeding them enough or something.
Do you want me to ask them?
That's kind of
It's
fun.
tempting,
Let's please.
But no thanks. As long as I don't know for a fact that they're saying rude things, I can convince myself that they're not. Rather like that other cat in the box.
Cats like being in boxes, so they probably wouldn't be complaining.
Not quite what I meant, but I'll take it.
To be fair, I also don't know what you meant. I don't know what that saying means. Like, I could tell what she was going for, like being like, this is a saying I'm saying, not just like a random sentence. Super didn't feel like one. For a bit, Aspen hums quietly to herself while we walk. I don't know if she knows that I can hear her. Even though she's been being more chatty, there's still something that seems a little off about Aspen. I can't quite place my fingers on what it is, though. At one point, she checks her phone and starts to walk a little bit quicker.
Home?
If she has to think about it, that kind of answers my
yes.
question.
But like I said, I prefer to only do so for a day or two at a time.
'Cause of your parents?
A little. They're not really that bad, though. Mum's a worrywart and Dad isn't, so Mum feels like she needs to worry enough for both of them. It's not too bad over the phone, but when I'm there, Mum always tries to convince me to stay and move back. So I tell them they should move out here instead, and Mum goes into why they can't, and it's just tiresome.
Sounds like she cares about you a lot.
She does. And I love her too, don't get me wrong. It's more the town than them. Or rather, the lack thereof.
You like the town life, and they live out, like, almost kind of middle of nowhere situation. Like, there's not another house around for, like, a mile.
They live in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm,
Mum loves it out in the countryside, and says she can't live without her backyard view, and half a kilometre from the nearest neighbours. I, on the other hand, can't live without bookstores and coffee shops and high-speed internet.
Same base. Like, I don't like cities, but I like having all of those things.
To Wellington?
That's why I moved to Wellington. It seemed like a necessity to make it as an author.
I try to put together the things she's been telling me into one big picture.
Exactly. At least, that's what I thought before I came. Turns out that moving to a new city won't magically make you a better writer. Or even a writer at all. Back when I was in school, I used to daydream about what life in the big city must be like. Busy and important things happening during the day, and then nights full of excitement and sparkling wonder.
Don't mind me at the bottom, I was just taking a drink.
It's the Bell House, and a tiny apartment the size of my living room back home.
Oh shoot, I broke my body. Oh gosh darn it. Vtuber Studio has been like acting very weird. I used to be able to take drinks and slightly lean out all the time and just readjust. Now if I ever do anything, it freaking breaks my body. Hang on. Let's go ahead and do that. And then let's just go ahead and do that. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and move it over here. Gosh darn it. And then now I gotta put Miho back on my head too. Oh no, she's there. Rad, let's go.
I thought
Okay,
if I put
anyways,
myself in
back to
new
this.
environment, then I'd grow into the type of person who belonged there. I learned the hard way that places don't change who we are. Still, better to be struggling to make it in the city than doing nothing out in the boonies, I tell myself.
I think it sounds pretty nice. Peace and quiet, nothing to have to worry about.
Ugh, not you too. That's exactly what my mum says. Trust me, it sounds better hearing about it than living it. Just like Wellington. Or any city, I'd imagine. I'm sure even Wellington must seem like a bore compared to some of the places you've been to, like Shanghai or Seoul.
Well, yeah. I still like it though. Those cities are too big for me. They're noisy and loud and smell bad, and anything can be dangerous. You have to be on your guard all the time. It's not like that here.
That's
The
why I also hate
scariest thing
cities.
I've seen was a movie.
That's true. I'm glad. I'm glad you liked it enough to stay.
Me too.
Aww. We're well into the city, pretty far past Cuba Street and the Bell House. Now that I've been there once, I also recognize Tapapa, the museum when we pass it. By now there isn't much I don't recognize. I've been all over this part of Wellington, enough that I can probably get from here to Mount Victoria with my eyes closed. I memorized other cities the same way when I lived there, but for the most part, once I left, I forgot all about them. I'm not sure I'd ever be able to forget the streets of Wellington, though, even if I wanted to. Instead of humming, Aspen started fidgeting again as we walked, messing with her phone and purse and hat and glasses. I recognized the shops and apartment buildings from the walk to Aspen's house, so we can't be
Are
very far
you
from the
nervous?
station. Wow, they walked all day, it looks like. Oh my gosh, they had breakfast and now the sun is setting.
No, no. Why would I be? Do I seem nervous?
Yeah. Is it because of the bus? You don't have to worry about that. I've ridden on them lots of times and they only broke down like once.
No, it's not that. I mean, no, I'm not nervous.
Okay.
I've never seen Aspen more nervous, but I still don't push it. Like a good friend. She'll talk when she's ready. I can hear the smell on the bus station before I see it, and then it comes into view. There are 2 or 3 buses parked or passing through. I wonder if one of them is Aspen's. We stop across the street and she checks her
You're
phone
not
again, then
late,
puts it
are
away.
you? Oh, I could have walked faster.
No, we're right on time. It'll be here any minute now.
Cool. I'll wait with you till it arrives.
Aww. I start to cross the road, but stop when I notice Aspen isn't following. Instead, she's still standing on the sidewalk, gripping the strap of her bag tightly. I trot back to her and look around to see if I'm missing something, but there's nothing other than a couple people waiting far away at the station there. But there's nothing other than a couple
Are you
people waiting
alright?
far away at the station. Oh? CG, is something big happening? Oh. She blinks a couple of times and then
Leo,
takes a deep breath before
I have
facing
to tell
me.
you something.
Is it happening? Oh. The effect of her words is immediate. Thud, thud. Like she casts a spell, my heart starts to race. Whatever she's going to say must be why she was acting so weird all afternoon. Is it something bad? Is she not going to come back after all?
Yeah?
I barely manage to croak out an answer. I can't handle any more heartbreak so soon.
It's something that I've been thinking about telling you for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But it was one of those things where I wasn't sure how. Or when. Because I didn't know how you'd take it.
Mm-hmm. What could it even be? We just saw Juliet, so it can't be anything to do with her. Lena?
But then, after we all talked the other night, I realized that I should just say it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because no matter what, I know I would regret it more later if I didn't. Who knows how many more chances I might get? So I thought about it. A lot. What the right words were. And I just couldn't figure it out. So I didn't prepare. I'm just saying this, somehow, and hoping. God, I'm actually saying this, aren't I?
Her grip on her hat shifts, clutching it so tightly her knuckles are turning white. I feel frozen in place, not sure what to do or say. All I can do is stare, my heart feeling like it's going to explode out of my chest while she looks down at the ground. Whispering something to herself, she wrings her hat in her hands before finally looking back at me.
There's something I want you to know.
Uh-huh.
Miho,
Uh-huh.
I used to think that there was no way someone like you could exist. Someone who looks at the world like you do, and is honest about what you see, the good and the bad. And at the same time, someone who doesn't realize just how much she has to offer.
Oh.
Just how much you make people happy. But here you are. Maybe meeting you used up all my luck for the rest of my life. But here you are, and I love you. And I just couldn't keep not telling you that, in case maybe you love me too. I couldn't keep just hoping and wondering and not knowing. And now that I've said it, it feels so good to have out there. I love you, Miho. I love you.
Oh.
At first, I wasn't sure because everything seemed too perfect and unreal. I thought that I was just letting myself get carried away like I always do. A silly little daydream, but it's true. It makes me feel silly how much already, when I think of how utterly stupid it always sounded to me when reading about love at first sight. But how could it be anything else? I don't believe in coincidence, Miho. My life was changed the moment I saw you. I just didn't know it yet. Now I do. Now we both do. I love you, Miho. It's out there, and I can't take it back.
Her words drift away into the air as we look at each other in silence. My head is TV static, buzzing with nothing to show. Not because it's empty, but because there's too much for me to process. Aspen, in love? With me? Wind whips past my face as a bus rolls by, pulling into the station. I barely notice it, barely able to notice anything. Aspen is in love with me? I don't know what to say. But Aspen raises a finger to her lips. I want to move the mouse out of the way of her face really quick. There we go.
Shh.
Oh.
Don't tell me.
I said it now before I leave for a reason. Because I thought you might say that. Tomorrow. Whatever it is you feel, I'll hear it then.
Yeah, okay. I look at her face for some guide on how to respond, but she just gives me a smile. A weak, fragile smile. Left dumbfounded, I nod. Aspen is in love with me. Returning her hat to her head, Aspen sighs like she just finished a hard day's work.
Well, that's it. All I have to say, I suppose. As if that wasn't one of the most important things I've ever said in my life. That's my bus. So, I'll see you tomorrow, Miho. And no matter what, it's okay. If we just carry on being friends like normal, I'm fine with that. More than fine. I'm just glad that I took the chance to tell you.
For how nervous she was a few minutes ago, she does seem a lot calmer now. I may as well be a statue as Aspen starts to walk past me, but then she pauses.
May I give you a goodbye hug?
Yes, come on. Yeah. That much I can respond to at least.
Yeah.
We wrap our arms around each other, that weird human custom. Everything may have just changed, but she's still the same Aspen she was when we left the library. I try to listen for what she might be saying without words as she squeezes me tight. Finally, she steps away with a smile. It might be the most genuine one I've ever seen on her face.
Bye, Miho.
Bye.
I can't believe that I thought that was going to be like a chapter, end of chapter 4, early chapter 5, maybe even end of chapter 5. I was not expecting that. Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, this episode was going for a while. I think that's a good That is a good place to end it, and we'll pick up with more in the next one. Oh my god, it happened. That was like, yeah, I couldn't tell if you guys like noticed, but I was like shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, Aspen, you were struggling to find the right words, but you're saying all of them. That was incredible. So well done. S tier confession right there. That had me like, I was silent. I couldn't think of anything else to say outside of just like, I'm just gonna listen to what she says and read what's put in front of me, okay? But yeah, with all that being said, oh my gosh, I can't believe it happened. Oh my gosh. Um I fanboy way too hard about these games, I feel, but you know what? I enjoy it, so that's so fine. But with all that being said, I'll see all you beautiful people in the next one. Bye bye.